morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. We're coming to you live from downtown Panama City. Our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. And we do have some rain this morning, especially over in our eastern viewing area. It rained in my house last night, so today we have a good chance, about 70% chance of rain, and we all agree that we need it, so we want to welcome the rain. Right now, 73 here in Panama City, 74 in Mariana, 76 in Apalachicola, and over in Sandestin it's 79 degrees. High today only get to 85, and low tonight is 72. And the water temperature, we've talked about it, it's sort of been leveled out now to 83 degrees. It's been there a couple of weeks now. The boating forecast, the wind will be coming out of the east and then out of northeast at 5:15. Seas only 1 to 3 and just a very light chop on protected waters. It'll be a nice day to be on the water if you can stay away from the thunderstorms. Look at our Carl Vernon Marine Specialties tide chart. Today would be the 22nd of September. It's a Thursday. You can see what a strong tide we're having. It was high this morning at 5:02. And now we're looking at a low tide at 3:53 this afternoon. So it's a strong outgoing tide. We're looking at a 2-foot tide today and tomorrow and Saturday. So we got 3 great days of tidal flow. So if you have a chance to get out and do something on the water, be a great opportunity on an outgoing tide, especially the flounder and redfish around oyster bars and all. That's when they're a lot of times be feeding and all on that tide. We're going to take a short break. We've got a special guest. We want to spend a lot of time with him. So let's take our first break, and we'll be right back.
Bill Kramer Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC is Panama City's exclusive full-line dealership. Built on a 45-year foundation of trust and total customer satisfaction in all departments, including our huge pre-owned department, where we'll pay top dollar for your current automobile as a trade-in, or we'll place your vehicle on our lot and help you sell it. At Bill Kramer Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. 4 decades, 3 generations, 1 tradition.
Hi, I'm Paul Flagg with Professional Fiberglass Marine Service. We offer all types of boat repair, fiberglass work, bottom painting, detailing, buffing. If your gel coat's looking dull, we can get that boat looking good for you again. We also offer a pickup and delivery service, and we have trailers that you can use if we are going to work on your boat, and we can come and get your boat for you. We can be reached at 850-960-9054, or you can reach us on the web at profiberglassmarine.com.
Panama City living is simply better without glasses. The Eye Center of North Florida offers the most advanced cataract surgery using lifestyle lens implants, which allow you to see all distances glasses-free. Our surgeons perform this quick and painless procedure at our accredited surgery center. When it comes to your vision, trust your local experts in surgical eye care. The Eye Center of North Florida.
9 doctors, 1 vision, yours.
We are so lucky to live in North Florida. We have some of the best fresh and saltwater fishing in the world. My biggest problem is not catching fish, but trying to decide what kind of fish I want to catch. No matter what I'm after, I always stop at Sunjammers Water Sports first. They have just what I need: rods and reels, line, tackle, and most important, live bait. Yes, sir, we sure are lucky.
Welcome back, and my good friend Danny Raphael.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show. Drove over from St. Joe this morning. Had a little bit of rain down your way?
Yeah, there's a light rain all the way. Some water standing at the house, but nothing, no wind or no lightning, anything. Everything looks good other than light, sweet rain.
Oh, yeah, we do need it. All right, listen, Danny. Danny runs Captain's Cove, the old family property they've had for years through generations over there, and he's one of our sponsors. But he brought, we've been talking about him coming on the show for over a year or so, 2 years, I think.
Right.
We've been trying to get you over here. And we appreciate you coming. And he brought a lot of these old family pictures. So we're going to send this first section here. We're going to talk about these old pictures and all, and how his family started here. And then later on, we're going to talk about some other things. And he brought some scallops for us to look at. So we have a great show lineup. So let's get started. Danny, you know, I put on the cover of my book, I put Charles Jackson Raphael, one of the 3 people here, and you're one of his descendants. And and we talked about in the late 1800s how they came down here, and they all been able to stay in the fishing industry generation after generation. So I know y'all are proud of that.
Right. He set the stage for a lot of generations to this point to be watermen and associated with making a living from the water. So we thank him for kicking that off in the 1800s.
Yeah. All right, let's go through. Okay, it's sort of a chronology on these pictures. This first one here, let's take a look at it. Tell us about it.
This is Charles Jackson Raffield, Nancy Raffield's homestead. When they first came to the East Bay, that's where they first took, I think it was 160 acres was their homestead, and so that was headquarters for his family. And from that point, as the kids got older and moved out on their own homesteads, but that's where they started, right there on the East Bay.
That's on the East Bay. That's over at Tyndall property now, and I've never seen. I've seen a lot of old pictures, but I've never seen this picture until this morning. And what a great picture, and what a testimonial to how the houses and all were set up, and how they have ported the docks were and all.
Yeah, that's the old settlement called Auburn.
Yeah.
Where that's at.
Very, very nice. Okay, what you got next? That, you know, they had the property up until when World War II broke out. The government came in and confiscated all that land and moved them out of there. But a lot of different families had. I know Mr. Ecker had some property there. He watched the show this morning, but y'all were able to keep that for a long time.
Yes, I think it was 37,000 acres that they took. In my research, a little trivia here, I think it was $180,000 was appropriated for the procurement, all the book work and the labor it took. That's what what happened.
That shows how much money these families got for their property. Now it was 37,000 acres, and they paid the government paid $160,000.
A little over $180,000. That was administrative, the whole thing.
A couple of dollars an acre is what they got.
Some never sold. Some of the property my grandfather had, he never sold, but some other people were similar. I mean, but it was times. One good side note from that, and there's no bitterness in my heart, but is that the military has made that still available, and it's pristine, and so in a lot of ways it's saved.
We've talked about that. Yeah, some of the pretty areas on Tyndall Base now, they're just natural still.
Right. Growth would have came that direction if it hadn't been for Tyndall.
Tyndall would be from the DuPont Bridge all the way to Mexico Beach. It'll all be one line of condos and motels.
Yes, so. It would have been, ideal for that kind of development. So we've got it special.
All right, let's look at this picture here. Talking about old family folks and all. We'll look at a couple of these. This was taken on the front porch of that house we just saw?
I think the house changed a little shape through. This is in the earlier years, but there's Coy
right here. I want to point him out. I interviewed Mr. Coy when he was 94. And he's passed away now. What a brilliant man, and what an interesting man he was.
He was a great man. He was went and served in ministry for.
Yes.
He left the fisheries and went to ministry for over 30 years, and then came back. Charles Jackson's top center, Nancy's to the left.
That's Charles Jackson.
His left. Cullen and Annie Lee Raffield top right, and that's Bert Raffield in arms there. Walter Curvin and Susie Raffield Curvin.
The Raffield married Curvins and Raffield. A lot of Curvins down in Apalachicola.
That Walter eventually moved to Apalachicola, and the word was they need a little bit elbow room. It was getting a little crowded.
Well, it's such a big family and all.
Oh yeah.
I know people may or may not know Charles Jackson came down. He was a minister himself, and he came down to different. And he built different churches and all.
He built 2 churches en route, and the schoolhouse / church that was in Auburn, right there close to the what Dad called South Auburn. He was one of the main carpenters on that. They said when they set the steeple that he stood on his head. It had a flat roof, I think, on the steeple where the bell was. So. To celebrate, he must have been pretty agile.
Here's a family baptism over in that area.
That's on East Bay, Auburn, the community, and there's a lot of Raffields there. At one time, there were some folks could tell me who they were. I think I see a York family represented.
Yeah.
But that's an old-timey baptizing.
Yep, you just don't see them like that much anymore. And we were talking about, you and I have the same problem, not really a problem, but we both have a lot of pride in our family reunions. And I've been to y'all's before, and it's really nice, and a lot of folks come all over. But sometimes the younger generation don't have the deep appreciation maybe some of us do.
Right, and you're always looking for one or every many as you can get that'll take interest, because the history is there, and I think it's rich in every family. And I've heard it said you can't tell where you're going unless you know where you've been. And if we look back, a lot of times we can learn. Yeah,
and also I know in different families the ladies are so strong, you know. No, I'm talking about physically, but morally and spiritually, because the men are out fishing and all in those days and were gone for days and days, and those mothers had to really be strong around their homes.
From each generation, the women stood tall. They were the mortar that held it together, and you can't say enough. I know my dad gave my mother the credit for his successes, because she was always a can-do person. Whatever he wanted to do, she supported him, and that works both ways. But
all right, now who are these two ladies here?
This is Ethel Raphael Hodges. These are sisters, and Susie Raphael Curvin. The Hodges family in Bay County is still represented, and she's got some great-grandkids, great.
So that would be Silas, late Silas Hodges. That would be his mother?
That's his mother.
Okay, and Jordan and all them would be their grandmother.
And over in Apalachicola, that would have been Bobby Curvin's grandmother.
Okay, all right. There. Very good. All right. We'll have a lot more pictures, plus we have these scallops we're going to talk about. So we'll take our next break and we'll be right back.
Captain's Cove Marina, designed with fishermen in mind. Easy access to the best fishing along Florida's Forgotten Coast. Deep sea fishing, fly fishing from a kayak, cruising endless miles of bayous, bays, and the intercoastal waterway. Count on the captain's crew to work hard to make your day on the water the best ever. Captain's Cove Marina, 1617 Grouper Avenue, Port St. Joe, 850-227-3357.
On down to Blue Water Outrigger, where you'll always find friendly service, fresh and saltwater fishing rods, top of the line men's and women's apparel. Don't forget to pick up your live baits and let us help you with all your outdoor needs. Check out our wide selection of top quality reels and hunting necessities, and everything in between. Come see us or order online. We'll be waiting for you right next door to Piggly Wiggly, Port St. Joe.
Panama City Beach is known as one of the top dive destinations in Florida. Divers Den offers daily dive charters that can accommodate up to 13 divers. Our boat captain is U.S. Coast Guard certified and a PADI dive instructor. We have trained professionals who offer a variety of scuba certifications. Come see us at our two locations on Thomas Drive and Tyndall Parkway.
Harold Milling Company, rough and tough dog food. Harold Milling Company builds it. They build hog feed, they build dairy feed, they make chicken feed. They have specialty feeds for rabbits. If you got a worm farm, grandmother used to have a worm farm. Look at the Harold Milling Company. You want to go down and get you, the dog's not running anymore. That's all over with. You want to get that 16% and drop down from the 26% protein. You don't want over to get fat. Harold Milling Company, you can buy it almost any feed store in the Panama City area.
Hi, welcome back. Here with Danny Raphael from Captain's Cove Marina down that way, and talking about a lot of family stuff. But before we get back to him, I do want to mention they announced yesterday a new hunter safety course here in Bay County. It'll be at Gulf Coast College. So the date's on to be October 4th and 6th. That's a Tuesday and Thursday, and the 11th and 13th are Tuesday and Thursday. And the time will be from 5:30 to 9 each one of those nights, and the range portion will be on the 15th from 7 to 11 a.m. So you can check the FWC office to sign up for that. Okay, so be aware of that. I know, Danny, we just mentioned when we don't have time to get through. He's going to come back through several more times and finish all this history. But let's show a couple more pictures, and we're going to talk about these scallops sitting right here in front of us. Okay, this picture here.
This is Charles Jackson Raphael in the center. His three sons, Cullen Raphael, William Cullen on the left, and Lacey Jackson Raffield below him, and then my grandfather, Clayton Raffield. And then on top right is Walter Curvin.
Curvin there.
Who married Susie Raffield.
All right. All right. That must have been to a wedding or something with that.
They were due it up for some reason.
Let's show one quick one of a boat and really the process of the salting of fish. And in fact, you just showed me something I didn't know on this picture. I've seen this picture before, but I didn't pick this up. All right, what did you tell us about this one?
Well, this is what they would call a salt stand or a fish camp, but fall of the year they would go to splitting mullet, or they take the head and open the butterfly of the fish, leave the backbone in. What you see them doing, and all that's in preparation for salting. So my grandfather's right on the right side, and Henry Raffield.
Let's see, this is yours?
Yeah, that's him. Henry Raffield on far left. He was born in 1898.
Okay.
And then Leonard Raffield is there at the skiff.
Okay, right here. Now this is what you were telling me. I never picked it. I saw that wild hog eating the scraps and all.
Well, that's a waste management program.
Waste management. Y'all were going green back in those days.
Oh yeah.
But this little net right here, that's the real net. I never could figure out what this is, and you were tell me about that.
That net was used. He's getting fish out of the bottom of the seine skiff. You can see the net on the back.
Okay.
But what he would do also with that, he'd carry it to them and dump it up on the bench. You can see this end toward him is a little higher, but after they split the mullet, they could take a hook like that. You'll notice they're standing in the water, and they could wash the fish in preparation to get ready to salt. So that's what's going on. The boat out there is Isabel, and across the way there on the horizon is over toward what we call close to where Hurricane Cut is now, to the left there.
Well, this is right where the drone launch is now at Tyndall. The drone launch would be, I mean, if you're looking at a drone launch, that would be about where that
right there, within a half a mile. Some of the old piling's still out there.
Okay, good deal. All right. I know this is great old pictures, and I would encourage all of you families out there, when you have your family reunions, get everybody in the family to bring their pictures and scan them. I know y'all do a good job, and we do that now. It's so important because a lot of times those pictures are lost.
Exactly. I give a kudos to Benny Raffield, has been really heading up in the latter years here, and he has scanned. We started way back, all of us, but used to have to borrow it and take it to the shop, and nobody trusts you. But that's a good way to get history.
It really is. All right, and we're talking about last Saturday, Gail and I out in the water, and we had finished cleaning ours. We were sort of easing out, going slow, and heard somebody holler, "Hey, Winston!" And I look over there, and this fellow's, he's about a little bit about chest deep water, waist deep water, and didn't have a massive snorkel on, so I figured pretty quick this might be Danny. So tell us what was going on.
The way folks used to do it a long time ago would feel for the scallops with your feet. In clear water, sometimes you could look down and see it, but I've modernized. I got a little scoop net. When we were younger, you just sit down and reach for it, or even with your feet. My son Daniel, he puts a scallop between his feet. He kind of looks like a otter or something, and pulls it up and gets it with his hand. But it's a real, it's a neat way to get a scallop. A lot of fun, and I just call it. We just scoot around. You take your foot lightly, move it across the grass. You'll learn to feel a scallop. You can tell the difference in it and a sea urchin.
Yeah, and it's an old form of a root hogging form, what the old timers call it.
Yeah.
Well, now, Danny, you've done this a long time since you were a kid. I've talked about it myself, but you've done it a lot longer than your generations. The size of the scallop this year.
The size is what we all dream of every year, and of course they've extended the season. I think 15 days this year, but from that, I hope the biologists, marine biologists are looking. The scallops have had time to grow out and get larger. They're getting deeper.
Look at the amazing thing is we're talking about the thickness of them, Danny.
Well, that's right. You notice between the heel of it, the scallops are longer. It took 50 of these scallops to make a pint.
50?
50.
Look at that one right
Look
there.
how thick he is. So
the thickness of it.
You actually take less scallops by letting the scallops get this size per limit than you would early on when they're so small.
And you got these yesterday afternoon?
About 6 o'clock, they were in St. Joe Bay.
Yeah, Danny it's not fair because Danny lives down there on the bay, and right now, in fact, you have Presnell's boat landing right there, and then you have the Presnell's right next to it, and you next door.
Right next door. Me and my bride there, Joanne Raphael, and she's a lighthouse keeper.
Yeah, they have the lighthouse. You heard a story about him bringing the lighthouse. That's another whole story about the lighthouses, but it's on top of his house.
Right.
That was cool of you. What a vision you had at that point in time, way back then, to save that lighthouse, because they would have been destroyed.
Yeah, it was. I just had a love for history, and 19 years old when I bought it, and later on, Joanne and I, it took all those years, 40-some years from start to finish.
Yeah.
So we're really enjoying it. Just got it the top on it in April, the lantern room.
Yeah.
So we're real excited.
We're gonna get down there, and I pass by your house all the time, so I gotta stop by and see Danny. But seems like I'm always got something to do. But we're gonna stop. I'm gonna bring the camera. We're gonna film that. We're gonna take our last break. We're gonna come back and talk about how Dan and his bride cook some of these scallops and different ways to cook scallops, and what the forecast is for this last weekend. So we'll be right back.
Sunrise to sunset. A walk through nature takes you on a journey of Florida's Emerald Coast. You'll encounter the wildlife, birds, lighthouses, indigenous to the beautiful land and seascapes of Florida. Set to the sounds of nature and enhanced with easy listening music. Only $14.95 plus $4.95 shipping and handling. NatureWalkDVD.com or send check or money order to the address on the screen. A walk through nature. Visually stunning.
The greatest investment we can all make is in the lives of our children and grandchildren.
To help you invest for retirement, handle your IRA rollover, protect your family with life or long-term care insurance, call my dad for an appointment at his new office on Wilson Avenue behind Lowe's. And he'll give you a copy of his most recent book, 7 Steps to Serious Money. For free! Walter Woodrick, your serious money advisor!
It's Kubota Summertime Deal Days right now at Soul Tractor, and that means Kubota finance offers are heating up.
Right now, we have long-term finance rates for qualified buyers. We have the deals you've been waiting for on the new Kubota Grandale 40.
Come take a look at the new Kubota Grandale Series tractors today.
Hurry to Soul Tractor's Kubota Summertime Deal Days and get your best deal on a new Kubota today while the sun shines.
My name's Captain Rick Corley. I'm a SAMS accredited Marine Surveyor, NAM certified Marine Surveyor, and IAME certified Marine Investigator. Been surveying since 1969. Was taught by my father, who is the oldest, longest practicing Marine Surveyor in the world. We do all types of survey, commercial or pleasure. Steel, aluminum, fiberglass, wood, makes no difference. Give us a call at 850-527-5287 or visit us online. We'd appreciate your visits.
Welcome back. So glad you're with us this morning here with Danny Raphael, Captain's Cove Marina. Before we get into that, let's look at our express lane fish and game forecast for today. Our times are looking at 8:16 to 10:16 this morning and this afternoon or late this evening from 8:42 to 10:42. Brought to us by Express Lane throughout the Panhandle, American owned and American operated. Danny, I know one thing, Captain's Cove Marina, talking about location. You know, tell the folks real quick about.
Oh, real quick. First of all, we've got pride ourselves in having a down-home, user-friendly marina. We're located right where the Intercoastal Gulf County Canal meets the St. Joseph Bay. So at any point you can access the bay or the Gulf real quickly there. It's protected. This fall when it's blowing 25 norther or something, you can fish the whole Intercoastal waterway if you start your trip there. So we offer inside storage, forklift, marine forklift service, repair, boat washing. Outside we have self-storage for folks that want to not drag that car around and pay that extra gas mileage.
Well, see, this thing I really liked about when we were talking about that day, you know, people from Defuniak and Marianne and Dothan and all them, especially like during scallop season, they want to come down a lot, but they don't want to tow that boat back and forth that far. You can set up any kind of system, or you customize them.
We've got about 4 or 5 venues of storage, but the cheapest we have, and I mean for people that trailer their boats, is the self-storage. Got a 3-acre site. They can come and go as they please, and it's fenced and well protected.
And we have fall fishing season coming up, and we all know how good that is.
Well, our intercoastal waterway now is alive. Oysters and things that we've never had, or just any root or anything. So it's a great habitat. We've got 6 miles of the canal connects with the ICW, 30 miles either way to Panama City or Apalachicola. So it's a great location.
Okay, all right, we're going to talk more about that, but we still got to cook these scallops here. I know we all love them fried. That's our first option, but there are all kinds of other ways to cook them. What are some other ways you and your wife cook them?
One of the best ways, especially if you want to enjoy, there's nothing better than going and gathering a limit of scallops and coming back to the house and taking that scallop, and I like to saute it. You can do it in the microwave or you can do it on a skillet, but it's all involved with onions. I like to take a good onion, Valdelia, chop it up, a little olive oil and butter is nice, and normally I start the onions by themselves, and then I'll bring the scallops into some half and half with some butter, and I saute. Be careful not to overcook your scallops. And at that point, we gather them all together, and then it can be served with the half and half. You can serve it on rice, over pasta, or you can eat it just like it is. It's an excellent way to end the day.
we had it over rice Sunday night, so it is so good and all. I know the old timers though, a lot of times they didn't cook scallops. They just went ahead and ate them when they could, right?
I like about 2 or 3 dozen when I go scalloping. I normally eat them in the water, but there's so many ways. You can scallops and rice with bacon. You can't hardly ruin a scallop if you don't overcook it.
Yeah, and this is the last weekend, so look, the weather looks like it's going to be really nice.
Yeah.
So if they see you going out be out this weekend and see somebody in my waist deep or chest deep water, no mask and snorkel, that's going to be Danny.
Yeah, I hope you see me.
All right, Danny, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
Great having you come
sir.
over. Appreciate you driving over.
Yes, sir.
All right, folks, we got to get out of here now. Tomorrow now, the Tarpon Dock Seafood giveaway, giving away red snapper, some dip, and a T-shirt, and a fishing forecast, and some other special stuff. You do something good for somebody today, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.